Join us as we search Alaska and beyond for mysterious creatures, featuring Beans Baxter and Rob Roy Menzies. This is the Alaska Bigfoot Studies. Greetings all, Chuke here with Alaska Bigfoot Studies. Very excited because I'm finally getting out into the field regularly, I feel, compared to before, where it was just a few trips in the summer and then I'd do a lot of talking about it during the winter. But this is just a blast being out here. I actually am an hour and a half north of the big city here in Alaska and way off on a snow machine trail, which is actually just a game trail now. And I did go to a spot where I found some very large tracks. I will show those. Okay, here are the footprints. They have been distorted a little bit with the rain, but even when they were fresh, they were fairly large. But what strikes me is the stride. So here is a size 9 human footprint, significantly bigger, but the stride, some of these were 1 meter across, so you have to step, I'm like at full, without really bending. That's about as far as I can step. So that's a very tall creature. Interesting. They were interesting because it appeared to be something bipedal with fairly large footprints, but it was the spacing between that really stood out to me. Typically a moose will have small footprints and they won't be spaced out like a bipedal creature. This is something that looks like it was 8 feet tall with a very long stride, and it's basically a hot spot. I'm not in Willow, but it is, I could drive there in less than an hour probably. So it's a hot spot and I'm just out looking around. Now, one thing I wanted to talk about was I'm out hunting birds. I've got a 22 long rifle with a can on it. It's very quiet. And I'm out here hunting ptarmigan, or not ptarmigan, spruce hens in this area. The mountain version is ptarmigan. They turn white. But it's a tasty, well, it's not tasty, but I like to eat. Some people say it's good in the fall. In the winter, they just taste like bitter spruce needles. But I use my buddy's Mississippi recipe of turning them into jalapeno poppers, and that makes anything good. And I like to eat wild meat. It's very healthy. So I'm out here hunting, and I thought about it. Probably some of the best sightings are from hunters. And the reason is, sometimes it's backpackers too, but hunters are the ones that really go as far out as they can. They try to leave a very minimal, quiet footprint in order to see these animals, and they're staying out for extended periods of time and just observing. So I feel they are some of the best candidates for encounters, and many times that's what all these stories are coming from, is hunters. And then we have the game wardens and fish and game biologists and that kind of thing. They know about Bigfoot because they are hearing from the hunters themselves. So I wanted to do a trip where it's kind of like a combo. Not only am I doing a Bigfoot investigation, but my main or secondary goal is to get a bird to, sometimes I save them for holidays, but to have for dinner, appetizer, because it's always when I'm doing something else that something will pop up. If I just went on a Bigfoot investigation, I would see like 30 of these birds and I'm like, not prepared for it. But the fact that I'm doing both, then something may come up. Now, this is a really interesting area because you're not quite into the interior muskeg. It's more of a forest mountain area, so we do have some trees that are good size, good habitat for a Sasquatch, and there have been sightings out here. So I will be getting together with Daniel with the Cryptid Wilderness Research podcast and doing an update, but I'm going to try to do regular hikes and expeditions like this because it really keeps you going. I don't want to wait until, summer, fall time every year in order to do a hike or an expedition. I can do this kind of thing all winter. It's fairly warm, not as warm as it was. We had like 50 degrees almost and everything melted and covered everything with ice, which it felt comfortable, but it was problematic for people's houses with the windstorm and driving and falling down. Today it's in the 30s, so it's a very comfortable temperature for Alaska. So I'm just going to be poking around, seeing what I can see, and yeah, that's just what it's about, the experience, the adventure. So winter time gives us a great opportunity to look for tracks, and that is one of the main thing I will be doing is poking around here and looking for tracks that could be in the Bigfoot world. So thanks for tuning in, and we're going to keep doing stuff out here. So appreciate you guys.